What's up, y'all? This is Juwon. It's our first ever edition of Thrive Thursday. I'm excited for this new series. Every other Thursday, we're going to be sharing some inspiring messages with you. And so, for the first one, for the first Thrive Thursday, I'm going to kick it off right. I'm going to talk to you today about the how and the why. That's right, the how and the why. Now, you may be thinking, what in the world is this dude talking about? Well, let me break it down for you. You see, oftentimes when I'm speaking with different audiences from across the country, after my presentation, we'll do a question and answer session. And one of the questions that I always get is, Juwon, how have you been able to achieve so much so early in life? And every time I get asked that question, I'm humbled by it. And then I start to think. And I think. And then it comes to me that it's not about the how, it's about the why. See, it's not about how I've been able to achieve all of these things, it's that I've had a strong enough reason for why I've wanted to achieve them that has propelled me through any obstacles or circumstances to achieve the results that I've been looking to achieve. And so let me break this down for you with a little story that explains a little bit about my background and my history. You see, I grew up in a neighborhood called Montbello in Denver, Colorado. And if you know anything about Montbello, you know that it's not the best of neighborhoods, and it's certainly not the worst of neighborhoods. But again, it's not the best of neighborhoods. And so growing up, I didn't know anybody around me who had ever went off to college. A lot of my friends growing up got into gangs and violence and drugs and things, and I knew I wanted a different way of life. But I didn't necessarily know how to get to it. And so people would tell me all the time, you know, Juwon, you're smart. You should go to college. You should go to college. You can do it. But I didn't understand how to make that a reality. You see, nobody in my family had ever gone to college. No one from my neighborhood had ever gone to college. And the only people that I had ever seen that were in college were on that TV screen. And so it wasn't very real to me that this could be a possibility for my life. And I didn't necessarily know how I would achieve a better life for myself and for my family. But I had the opportunity to go to this summer program when I was about a senior in college. I didn't want to go to the program. I was more concerned with, you know, hanging out with the girls and kicking it with the fellas, playing basketball on the weekends. But somehow I ended up in this summer program. And it was my first ever time on a college campus. And let me tell you, after that weekend in that program, I was sold. I knew that I was going to college and that was going to be the next step in my journey. And let me tell you the reasons why I decided to go to college. The first reason why I decided to go to college was because I found out that in college there are no curfews. You see, growing up I had a curfew. Raise your hand if you've ever had a curfew. I know you have. And if you tell me you haven't, you're lying. So, growing up, I had a curfew. And I thought that was just unjust. I mean, I had a busy social schedule of things I had to attend to. And I didn't like this idea of having to come in at a certain time. And so when I visited college for the first time, I learned that when you're a college student, you don't have to have a curfew. You can come in at 4 in the morning if you want to, and nobody will say anything to you. And so from then on, that was my number one reason why I was going to college. The second reason why I decided to go to college was because they have these things called dining centers. That's right, dining centers. If you know anything about me, you know that I love to eat. It's one of my favorite things to do in life. And, you know, growing up, sometimes we would have to worry about will we have enough food to eat. And so when I visited this college campus, and I learned that they have these things called dining centers where you can literally go in at 8 a.m. in the morning. Actually, they open at 6, but I'm not getting up that early. So, you know, I can stroll in at 8 a.m. in the morning. I can grab my little tray, you know, get my food, pile it on there, and I can sit down at the table and eat my food. And I can stay there until 8 p.m. at night and get 12 plates in between and nobody would say anything to me. Oh, when I learned that, oh, it was on. That was my second reason why I decided to go to college. The third reason why I decided to go to college was because I learned that in college you get to set your own schedule. You see, in high school I never really tried that hard because, to be quite honest, I just didn't really care about the subjects that I was being taught. But I learned that in college you get to pick your own schedule. You can take class at the times that you want to take class, and you can pick the classes that you want to take, the things that you find interesting. And so when I found that out, oh, then I was really sold. And so those were the reasons why I decided to go to college. And once I had that why, then I was ready to do whatever it took to figure out how to get to college. And so I went in and started talking with my counselors and my teachers. And, you know, I started applying for schools, and I started applying for all these scholarships because there was absolutely no way that I was going to be able to pay for college with a job, or that my mom was going to be able to pay for my college. And so I decided to get on my grind, to get on my hustle, to find a way to make it into college, because I had 3 very important reasons why I wanted to be there, in addition to changing the situation of my family. So, again, this brings us back to our point for today, that when you have a goal in life, at first it may seem daunting, it may seem challenging. You may not have any clue about how you're going to achieve that goal, and that's totally fine. You don't have to have it all figured out right away. But when you have a goal, think of a goal that you have this week. I want you to think about an important goal, something you want to achieve in life. Maybe it's work, personal, something related to school or your education. Think of something you want to achieve in life, and then I want you to sit down and think of at least 3 reasons why you want that goal. Really good reasons of why you want that goal. Reasons that will prevent you from giving up when it gets hard, when it gets difficult. Think about why you want to achieve that goal, and then get to work. Do one thing every single day. And when it gets tough, when you meet those obstacles, when it seems like you've lost all hope, go back to that list of reasons of why you want to achieve that goal. And I guarantee you that you'll be able to make it. Just keep pushing. Again, this is Juwon. This is Thrive Thursday. Thrive or Die. Let's go. Bam!